Good morning to most, good afternoon to others, and good evening to the viewing audience across the pond. I am your host, Jason Miles, here for another episode of This is Revolution Podcast. If you're new to the channel, thank you so much for taking the time to check us out. If you are a returning listener, subscriber, or one of our very valued patrons, hell yeah! I want to thank everyone that made it out to movie night last night. We hung out after the movie for like another 4 hours. Derek Varn came in and joined us, and we got to hear some fun Hollywood insider stories from Big Bill Cody. Can't wait to do it again. It is horror month here on TIR, so we'll be having more movie nights as we get closer to the spooktacular Halloween. If you do appreciate the programming here on TIR and want to be a part of our movie nights, champagne rooms, and more, become a patron. For as little as $3 a month or $30 for the year, you can have access to champagne rooms past and present and join us for our movie night watch parties. Now, with that out of the way, let's get to why you people are here in the first place. The digital stranglehold on dating. The gamification of love. The age of platform capitalism. In our current digital landscape, even the most intimate corners of human experience, love, desire, and companionship have been captured by monopoly capital. One corporation, Match Group, owns over 25 of the most popular dating apps, from Tinder and Hinge to OkCupid and Plenty of Fish. What was once sold as a way to find your match has morphed into a system engineered to keep you endlessly swiping. These platforms operate less like Cupid and more like casinos, designed not to help you find love, but to keep you addicted to the pursuit. This is the inshitification of modern romance, a process where platforms that once offered genuine connection in their early days have become exploitative and hollow. A decade ago, deleting your dating app with a partner symbolized commitment, a small digital ritual of monogamy in the 2010s. Now, users report endless cycles of ghosting, silence, or worse, complete invisibility. Unless, of course, they pay for the boosts or super likes. But these monetized features rarely yield better outcomes. They only deepen the illusion that love can be unlocked through microtransactions. Yet this is not entirely new. From the personal ads of the 19th century to the VHS dating services of the 1980s, mediated romance has long mirrored the technological and economic logics of the time. What's different today is the degree of algorithmic capture and data extraction at play. Dating apps have transformed intimacy itself into a commodity. Your desires, habits, and vulnerabilities mined to refine advertising models and predict consumption patterns across platforms. What we are witnessing is not just the digitization of dating, but the gamification of human connection under conditions of deep social atomization. In a society defined by precarity, loneliness, and alienated labor, the promise of love has become another interface to scroll through, another subscription to maintain. The question is no longer simply whether these apps help us find partners, but whether they're reprogramming how we experience intimacy itself. Are we searching for love, or are we the product, trapped in the slot machine of desire? To have this conversation with me, I have the voice of reason, the M. Toussaint.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Sweet. I just want to say shout out to the chat. Shout out to the mods. Dusty's on duty today. I want to say shout out to Drea. She said, it looks like Jason is about to start singing Come On Eileen. Yay.
Well, if that bitch plays her cards right. Whoa!
Already with the bitches, huh?
Yes.
Talking
I'm
about
not
love
wearing
today.
the manosphere glasses because that was just too much for this episode. I figured I didn't want to overload you guys with all that manosphere.
Mhm.
there is that. And the person that brought this show to us is a returning guest on this show. He is definitely upset about love in the digital age. He's coming all the way live from a secret bunker somewhere in South America. Please welcome Arturo Desimone. Arturo, is that kombucha through one of those magical cups that you're only supposed to drink kombucha in when you're like have a man bun?
Oh,
Manba,
Man bun. The
man
hair.
bun. Is
When your
that
hair is
like?
in a bun,
Oh,
you
man
wear
bun.
hemp clothes.
Hemp clothes. Oh, you mean am I a hipster?
I don't know if that's a hipster. I don't know what we call that guy.
The
Call
guy
that
with a
trouble.
man bun and hemp clothing is either is somebody selling weed through e-commerce, I suppose. I don't know.
Through e-commerce.
Online, I guess. I don't know. No, this is Mate. This is yeah. I'm not a real Argentine, but I'm half Argentine. This is what they all drink, and Uruguayans drink it too. Paraguayans. It's like coffee.
But you wanted to talk a little bit about the monopoly that
Yeah.
tech has on intimacy. How does Match Group's near monopoly over online dating mirror the broader consolidation we see in tech media and media industries? What do you think happens when one corporation effectively controls the architecture of modern romance?
Well, I mean, I think it's extremely detrimental, of course. And well, like many, I guess I've experienced it firsthand. And I was trying, I guess, to intellectualize my revenge against this this app, which became worse over the years by reading whichever articles were available on the internet, which exposed the monopoly, because many people who used apps in years ago, during the heyday or the boom, noticed that they got significantly worse. I did not use them in the time when they were purportedly working better, but I noticed that they simply did not work. And often in the areas of the world where I was in, I would either be approached by, I would match with women who would directly ask me for money in private messages, or I would match with an aspiring influencer who wanted to monetize her Instagram account by getting thousands of followers. And so she she tried to get people to follow her IG account through Tinder. Sex workers and trans then also turned out to be sex workers, 2 in 1. So I was wondering what's going on here. I thought maybe, Tinder or something would spare me nightclubs and stuff like that, which I guess is why most guys go on a dating app, because they don't want to spend I don't know, 10 hours every weekend in different clubs, bars. But then I saw that somehow it looked like this dangerous loop where they're constantly pressuring you because you don't want to waste all that time with swiping, which is this, kind of mind-numbing activity. And so then you think, well, if you buy the membership, then you'll just be alerted when someone likes your profile, and then you won't spend all that time swiping. And then I start to wonder, why is it that the free service, the free version, encourages so much swiping? And I thought this must be for a study. There must be focus groups, or It must be something like Cambridge Analytica, where they're trying to figure out the architecture of desire so they can use that for advertising. They were trying to figure out how desire works, because I think the advertising industry for years, for decades or a century, has had very stereotypical ideas of how desire functions, both in men and in women. So there's the assumption that most men or all men like uh, skinny blondes, for example, but that's not true. It's never been true. There's always been a variety of tastes among men, regardless of the advertising industry. I think that the people who believe that all men like skinny blondes, or this supposedly hegemonic image of what is desirable, the people who most believe that the most fervently, ironically, are feminists. Like, feminists believe that all men want that. But I
But
think
do
that,
all feminists believe the same thing?
well, I constantly, of course not, but I mean, there's like a prevalence, in um, it's quite prevalent to hear this, that men in general, that the feminists believe that men in general want that an oversimplification of male desire, I think, yes, can be found across the spectrum in feminist literature. That they oversimplify male desire, but I think the advertising industry wanted to, maybe, my theory, my hypothesis, that advertisers or assistant people who sell consultations to advertisers want to understand how desire functions, both male and female, in all its complexity, and that's why there's this massive swiping. I mean, it has to be towards what Cambridge Analytica called a psychographic model, um, to predict certain human behaviors and better manipulate them. Um, and so I hope I'm not being confusing, because I mean, I'm not saying, because I mentioned feminists, but that was just more on a side. That's not the main issue here. And so I was thinking about these dating apps and why, I could only find bizarre or dangerous situations on them, despite that I had rather professional pictures and so on. And so I started to just look for online material talking about this. And so, like, I found I found out about the class action lawsuit
Yeah.
in California.
Mhm.
Uh,
You want to talk a
uh,
little bit about that? What that lawsuit consists of?
yeah. Well, it is a lawsuit by, I think, one of the attorneys, his name is Tim Gordon, and another is Ryan Clarkson, and they, a group of disgruntled Tinder users. I think
Men
around
and women, by the way.
men and women, yes, men and women came together, and they found an attorney to take on the company. And the arguments of the attorney was that there's a kind of gamification going on of dating, and that's the match monopoly and the impact it has had on the culture means, suggests that there has to be transparency as to the algorithm, and that somehow Tinder has turned modern courtship or postmodern courtship, into a kind of online casino, and which kind of suggests that they call it the pay to play loop. So they made the program or the algorithms worse on purpose, to get people to buy platinum and gold memberships. and so it becomes like it has all the ethical quandaries of like online gambling, except that it's not regulated. I don't know if the online gambling industry is regulated, but somehow they wanted to take that angle, um, and that's ended in the predictable way, which is that the company managed to, which is an enormous corporation, because they own almost all the apps
Yeah.
except Bumble and Grinder, and one other. But they've bought up all the others, including obscure apps that no one's heard of. Apps for Jews, apps for Muslims, apps for Hindus, black seniors, Democrats. So every imaginable group that could have an app, Republican people, Christian apps. They've made an app, or they've bought the app from or they litigated the inventor of that app into selling the rights to that app at a very cheap price. The Match Group is extremely litigious.
Litigious. Litigious.
Yeah, that. Yeah, and so what these companies normally do is they bully the plaintiffs into private arbitration, and then there's no longer press coverage. The press cannot follow it, and it ends up. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know the ins and outs exactly, but it ends up probably in a certain municipality or state, and it's somehow slowly killed or bled to death. The case gets bled dry, and yeah, that's what happens.
Tucson, do you want to add anything?
Um, I I liked the article. I thought it was cool. It was informative. I didn't know about those court cases, or like I had heard something about the monopoly that Match has on all of these different apps, but I didn't know that they were the monopoly.
Yeah.
Like they have like all of them. Um, which you would think would make them more of a target. I'm glad that you admitted that this article was like revenge on these apps. Um, I will also say that I am not entirely sympathetic to the so-called male loneliness epidemic, or not saying that you're like here trying to represent that, but you're sort of putting a human face on this, and now I have to be nice, and I can't like be mean about it.
Because you think females are lonely too?
Women are lonely too.
No, Tucson. Didn't you read the book? Women are not lonely, they're mean,
Women
and
are
they don't swipe back.
women
That's
are from Venus.
Neptune. Fucking Neptune. Jokes aside, I am getting I think I drank the lonely men Kool-Aid for a long time. And then I did this wacky thing called go out in the world.
Mm.
And you find out that people are more lonely than ever. And if you focus just on men, then you kind of just are starting from the point that you assume that women are just chilling and living their best life, manless. And some are. But that doesn't mean that they're not having the same issues. Would you agree, Tucson?
Well, I'll say this. When you listen to discourse about this, people will always say that women are not nearly as lonely as men because women are likely to have support systems and relationships and to keep relationships up. And that's something that men are not socialized to do. So while women are lonely, it doesn't seem like as many are lonely. Often, suicide statistics are cited when talking about the male loneliness epidemic. However, women are also attempting suicide as well. They're just not always successful. Men tend to use more violent means, which means that they will get the job done the first time.
Well,
That's
wouldn't
true.
you say that women are more inclined to be cutters,
Yeah.
which is also a destructive behavior? And I think we ignore
Oh,
all
you
these
mean
behaviors.
okay. I thought you mean cutting as a means to unaliving. Okay. You
Say
mean
suicide.
cutting.
Say suicide.
So
Suicide,
sure.
suicide, suicide.
I don't think it matters on YouTube, so that's fine.
It
And
does matter. Just
that is
say
on like
suicide.
TikTok or something.
Say suicide. Say it.
I said suicide.
Say it again.
I just said it.
Nope. Say it. We're not going to do the unalive thing. We're not going to make these people change the way we speak because we're afraid of monetization.
I'm not.
And of death. We're afraid of death.
Yeah, fuck
Death
that.
and
Like,
money.
stop trying to, because then then you go out in the world. Someone's like, so and so like, stop talking like you are trying to monetize our conversation.
You need to be able to buy more eggs.
I have 64 of the 72.
That's a lot of eggs.
That's a lot of eggs.
So you're good on eggs.
I'm good on
Okay.
eggs right now.
Okay.
Don't
Suicide.
you dare worry about my egg consumption. You will say the word. We have
Sure.
we have a very dedicated viewership for this program that
Yeah.
believes in the freedom of speech, and we are not going to change the way we talk for fear of monetization, especially when talking about a subject oh so serious.
Mhm.
So you say it with all of your chest.
Sure.
Unfortunately, this show is not palatable to rumble.com. or fortunately, I don't know. Because they don't have the killer algorithm if you don't say unaliving.
If you put it on, if you were to do a short video, and in your short video, for example, let's say you had the words, what do you call it, the closed caption, and then suicide came up, it would either ban your video or say you couldn't monetize your video. So if you notice, there's people that do those videos, and then when the words come up, they'll spell it differently, or they'll do something where it doesn't say suicide, but they can say it.
Oh wow.
And some people are just totally terrified to say anything because monetization is kind of everything for them. But
some people censor one syllable or one,
Yep.
they mute one syllable or one vowel.
Everything is being done through AI. So it's not like someone's sitting here waiting to hear, Arturo say Cox.
Okay.
Cock, give me the cock, give me the cock. Cocking him. It's not, there's no one doing that.
I didn't write this, just for clarity. I didn't write this article from the angle or the departure point of the male loneliness epidemic, although I was more concerned about statistics that Gen Z and millennials are having less sex, fewer relations, fewer real encounters than the previous generations in their relatively youthful period. So I know that there's a lot of female loneliness, so that women are part of the loneliness epidemic. I do think maybe they are slightly less impacted, although there's also the factor that women's friends might keep them single, but that's not scientific. I mean, there is someone who talks about that, a sociologist called Villancourt. But in any case, there is a lot of material online about how dating apps are not good for women. Also, like this lady who wrote, Eva Illouz, an Israeli sociologist who wrote a book, Why Love Hurts. She writes a lot about women's Sisyphean searches online that don't lead to results. There was also something on Democracy Now, which was about, I think, a cardiologists also, who had who had assaulted several women, and this was a very big, of course, Democracy Now chose Valentine's Day to do that episode with two award-winning journalists, two women who were very much focused on dating apps harming women, and then they brought on a former human resources person, or a programmer as well, from OkCupid, who this British man was basically arguing that the solution to prevent harmful encounters is basically to make it more difficult to have an encounter, to have fewer encounters. So his solution was also to make the app less effective, to make it worse, because sex can lead to, or any sexual situation can lead to violence, according to him. So I guess that was a message, or that was a reading that was very palatable to Democracy Now. But I found that was, of course, it's very alarming that the company seemed to do nothing in terms of screening or to prevent this this cardiologist who had been reported a few times. They did nothing to take him off the app, but they do have more security precautions and screenings for people who pay the subscription, right? So you also buy your security, and so while that was alarming, it also reached all the wrong conclusions, basically, and again asserted that nothing is safe, that there should be fewer encounters, that it should be more difficult to meet people. So I was not satisfied with that conclusion. So I decided then to focus a little bit more on what happens to men in this article. And that's why I looked at, for example, a string of murders in Latin America that involves, because it's ongoing, it involves Tinder and other dating apps. But yeah,
One person,
no. I mean,
like
I've
one
been,
person doing the murders is a series of people doing.
no, it's not a serial killer. It's just it's a criminal ecosystem. So it's just it's something that happens a lot. So I mean, of course, there are two sides to this. It's there's a lot of sex tourism in countries like Colombia and Ecuador, Argentina, and Mexico, of course. But there are also just foreign men who want to date, with a beautiful Latin girl, and so they go online, and then there are certain criminal gangs that encourage, or that have a woman, a female member of the gang, put up her profile. She matches with a foreigner, and then a foreign dude, some gringo, I don't know, could a European or an American, and then she lures the young man or older man, whatever, into a certain venue, and then spikes a drink with what's called burundanga, which is burundanga. It's made from a tree that grows in Colombia. It's a very pretty tree, but if you extract the chemical and you make it more potent, what it does is it completely nullifies the willpower of a person. It paralyzes somebody completely, or it makes this person very open in a hypnotic way to suggestion. It's called, the chemical is called scopolamine. Then they rob these dudes, and sometimes kill them or maim them. And so it's quite common to get robbed in a scopolamine situation in Colombia after a Tinder date. That happens a lot to foreigners. But what's less common is also murder or just execution. And so I'm trying to get, this is why I haven't published the article yet, because I'm trying to get an extra angle, that something that the journalist from The Lever, Amos Barshad, who also wrote about Big Love, he didn't cover that at all. And other articles, like there was a Jacobin piece also arguing for antitrust towards Match. They haven't covered that aspect either. So I was trying to make the article a bit more original, but then I was trying to get the up-to-date numbers by sending FOIAs to the U.S. Embassy in Colombia. I contacted the British Embassy, French, German Embassy to get what is the up-to-date number of deaths of foreigners of each nationality that involved scopolamine. But thus far, they haven't responded. And I think when I sent my FOIA, apparently the American bureaucracy was not taking FOIAs because they were waiting for funding, or funding had been...
Oh, the government shut down.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, so I have to send that one again. So, but I'm trying to get the concrete numbers, but thus far we can establish around 11 deaths via dating app. If you add, so there had been around 7 to 8 deaths in a very short period in 2024 of American citizens. The American Embassy of Colombia put up a notice or warning for American citizens to be very careful using dating apps in Colombia. And there are 2 cases of hostage takings in Jalisco, in Mexico, and that involved luring people on dating apps. And a few of these incidents have happened in Argentina. Not so much with tourists or romantic or sex tourists, but more with elderly men. So I'm trying to get the numbers straight and added up. And my argument then is not, maybe somebody might suspect I have some kind of manosphere argument, but that's not the case. I just want to use this evidence to argue that the match monopoly is also deadly because they have no incentive to take better care of the security of the consumers. They have no incentive. And because they're a monopoly, there's no competitor. Bumble maybe, but that's a service that's more, it's popular with in certain parts of the world, but I want, I'm trying to make the argument stronger because the court case lost. The court case emphasized that it's a matter of people over profits, and I doubt that that's very convincing for a judge. Since when has people over profits made any judge in the United States indignant? I don't know. Is that the whole idea of this kind of unfettered, neoliberalism?
But do you think that the people behind the apps see these deaths as more of individuals than they do the apps themselves? 11 deaths, while alarming.
Only 11 have been confirmed in the press, but
Sure.
but like 8 were within 2 months in 2024. So the number might be much higher That's why I'm trying to establish what the actual census is of these dating apps.
I mean, let's just say it's 24. Let's say it's 44.
Yeah.
What would the way these apps structure themselves, it's always about, we're not controlling the behaviors, even though they kind of are, right? Like they didn't, they don't say, you know, what would be great if you're a sex worker, if you advertise your sales on these apps. You know, it'd be great if you were a man trying to get into crypto, if you made a bot. And because for the men's side, you hear a lot of men go, and all these women are sex workers. And you know what you hear from the women's side? All these men are bots trying to sell me crypto.
Really?
Yes.
Women are offered crypto?
Yes. Male crypto bots. It is the thing. So,
because I never met a woman who was particularly impressed by guys who keep talking a lot about crypto all the time on the date.
It's just a bot.
It's a bot.
Right? Just like I've never met too many dudes that are impressed about a woman that says, you know, I sell pussy, right? It's good. It's good pussy. It's a bargain pussy. Throw the nipples in for free. You know, they're bots.
But why are you saying that they should not? Are you suggesting that they don't see it, that they should not regulate it as a question of freedom of the consumer?
I'm saying that they're not going to. What they should do is not what I'm saying. I'm saying, why do you think they would all of a sudden care? Because much like with Uber, there's been several cases of stalking and sexual assaults through the delivery app and the ride service app.
Yeah.
It's not like they're doing background checks on anybody, right?
Well, that's the idea. The idea is that the app is safer because the people are screened. There's the license plates. The license plate is registered, so if someone commits a crime, there's less incentive to commit a crime if everyone has your license plate number of the getaway car, and there isn't there is a notion that it's safer because there is some kind of screening.
Look, everybody's not, all criminals aren't Rutger Hauer in the movie Nighthawks. You know, this isn't, you know, the Jackal, Carlos the Jackal, as far as these criminals. These are people that are kind of doing these crimes. I don't want to necessarily of passion, but of opportunity. And that's very different, right? I watched a police cam video the other day of a woman that got her cell phone repaired at a cell phone store, and the girl that repaired it cashed after herself $400 from the customer's phone.
Okay,
That's
I mean,
sure. So these are just crimes of opportunity for a lot of people. But
there are stupid criminals, but usually you don't have to be Carlos the Jackal. I mean, like if you're gonna rob a house, you don't have to be Carlos the Jackal to know that it's better to wear black if you're going to rob a house at night than to wear very loud, colorful clothes, or white. It's better to wear black because you're less visible. And like every criminal, I mean, okay, there are impulsive crimes, and there are crimes committed by stupid people who don't seem to care about the fact that all their information is pre-registered, that they're definitely going to get caught. But a lot of people do premeditate if they want to make a living off of robbing people, or if they want to make a habit off of harming people. They do premeditate it, and they do take some precautions. And in any case, I mean, people who are gonna pickpocket you, they only do it if they know that the coast is clear, that they can really get away with it, that you're not, usually. So yeah, I don't think you have to be a very brilliant criminal to not want your information out there attached to what you're about to do. But of course, there are people.
But my point is,
Yeah.
the dating app companies is simply going to say, look, we can't control what people do on these apps, and we do our best to blah 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 blah. and they're going to try to boil it down to the behaviors of individuals.
Well, I mean, yeah, of course they're going to do that, and the monopoly gives a greater incentive. But they're selling, the logo or the slogan of these dating apps is designed to be deleted. So they're there to help people orient themselves, particularly shy people, to orient themselves in a very tough dating market. And so, but if they're aware of a mass of false profiles, be they influencers who are just farming followers, be they the chatbots that sell crypto or other scams to women, be they very obvious sex worker profiles, like profiles of a woman with $100 bill in front of her cheek. That's quite common. It's quite common that kind of profile is out there. I mean, the AI could also screen for
But
that.
okay, but can I ask you
They're
that?
trying to get, yeah,
But can I ask you this seriously?
yeah.
A lot of people look at these dating apps as transactional uses for intercourse.
Well,
Right?
that's a moralistic take. I mean, I'm not
No,
judging.
no, I'm not talking about judging anybody. Nope, it's
No.
not. I'm saying a lot of those apps that used to exist where you could, not even apps, websites that used to exist where you could just go and get someone delivered to your house, quote unquote, delivered to your house.
Yeah.
Some of those are gone. So if you go on Tinder and someone's got the $100 bill to their face, you're like, okay, I know what this is.
Well, of course, I mean, I think there's a difference between casual sex and prostitution. And yes, a lot of people are looking for casual sex, but they're looking for, I mean, people are looking for the mutual connection, whether they're looking for marriage or looking for a hookup, looking for an adventure. They're looking for this mutual connection.
They're looking for the stripper to tell them the truth.
No, they're looking for they're looking for attraction. They're looking for, that's the whole idea of the match, right? And so, I mean, because you don't need a dating app to find prostitution. There are so many other venues where you could find, I mean, you don't go on a dating app because you want to pay several $100s just to a sex worker. I mean, you're looking for company, and regardless of, you're looking for a companion. You're looking for someone who's doing it not for who's not selling sex, basically, and who is not selling other services. I mean, that's, and I think that, I mean, if there are, of course, there are people who are, imbeciles who fall in love with the stripper, or of course, maybe I've met some of those people, and probably you have as
Sometimes
well.
I've met him in the mirror, Arturo. Calls coming from inside the house, man.
Right. Well, however, whatever it is that your value system is, whether you don't like hookups, whether you think casual sex is okay, I think we can have a consensus that people on dating apps are looking for mutual attraction and mutual enjoyment as the incentive, or companionship, and whether it's for one night or a lifetime. I think that what the company says is that the company's message to the world is that we understand that that's what you're looking for, and we're trying to make that simpler in this complex modern world, which is also a neoliberal world where everyone's working constantly in the gigs. There are fewer public spaces, and also with the advent of Me Too, it's much less publicly accepted to approach the opposite sex, for men to approach women, definitely at the workplace, even if they are on the same level of any hierarchy, corporate hierarchy. So the apps simply offer simplified. They try to simplify also the moral complexities of approaching people, which is sometimes, I think it's healthy to approach an attractive person in a public place, as long as you go about it in a fee and legal. But
But isn't that one of the problems that we have in the era of the internet and people being able to make videos on any and everything? And there is a sea of videos that you and I could find, probably an endless amount of time we can watch, where there's someone saying that if you approach me at the grocery store, at a coffee shop, if you approach me in any way whatsoever, you are a problem.
sure, I mean, it's not just videos. It's the New York Times or corporate media and educators. The mainstream hegemony has asserted that. Still, I mean, I don't know. I do talk to, if I see a girl I like, a woman I like. I mean, I'm not the fastest at all, but I do try to find some way, some inner motivation to talk to an attractive stranger in public. And I think as long as you do it in a way that is not, as long as you are friendly, or or not anxious, or not transmitting all kinds of all kinds of twisted vibes. Most women that I've approached seem to be quite cool about it, or to like it, or some of them don't at all. But never, I mean, my impression is that there's also a panic that's been created, that encourages this idea that, I mean, that most women have gone with the flow of a new kind of radical feminism, in which to be approached equals a form of a form of violence. And but in reality, I think that that's actually nowhere as popular as it seems. I think the vast majority of women, from what I can tell, I mean, their approach to feminism is like this modern approach that many people have to something like religion. I take what works for me. So they take the parts about self-affirmation and independence, and then they leave aside this all manner of predators stuff. But of course, there are very radical feminists as well, who are very influential and visible. Sorry for the noise.
Can't hear anything. You're fine.
Okay, but those, I mean, a woman who's very much into radical feminism will start talking about it right away in any public place. She'll start talking about misogyny, and then that's what to expect. But but I really do find that most women in the modern world of a certain level of education, they take distance from the noise, or from the aspects of feminism that are extreme and are not useful to them, and they just take the stuff about self-affirmation, or the stuff that works for them, or the stuff that is actually that we also want. I mean, if you want to be in this dating world, you want to have certain freedoms, then you also want women to have their rights and their freedoms, obviously. But I think that somewhere in 2017, this idea began to be promoted, that of the new normal, and the new normal is to never talk to strangers in public, because that's always harassment. And I think that also helped to sell dating apps as the only way to do it, because
as normal,
as the new normal. Yeah. And it's a kind of consent form. If you match with someone, it's a consent form, in a way that you've both signed that you kind of like each other, at least based on the profile, and that you want to be talked to. So it seems it offers to dilute a bit the mess of dating in modern life, and courtship, or whatever you want to call it.
Toussaint, do you want to add something? Be quiet.
Um, I did drop out the conversation for a little while. I had
Because
some issues.
it was men talking,
Yeah, I mean,
and you just heard Charlie Brown's teacher.
if I hear a lot of bass in people's voices, I just tune out.
Yeah, you're just like, this is Charlie. I can't listen.
What is bass?
Oh, like deep voices.
Deep voice. Oh, bass.
Yeah, yeah. So one of the things that I noticed when I was reading your article, I was like, this guy seems very pro sex. What's that
Mhm.
about? It's like you want people to get together.
Um, well, I see that as better than a society based on frustration and isolation. I do find that many of the a lot of the consumerism and derangement today is has something to do with frustration, frustrated people, and I don't know if I'm I mean, I'm certainly not trying to be master of ceremonies of an orgy or anything like that.
You don't want to be Diddy.
No, no, I do want to go back maybe to attitudes that existed before the AIDS epidemic. I think the AIDS epidemic made us all
You
more
do not
conservative.
want to wear a condom, do you?
No, I don't
That's
mean
what
that.
this is
I
about for
don't
you.
mean
This
that.
whole
No,
thing is about.
no, no. I always, I have nothing against condoms. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying that, you know,
I heard him say that. I was like, that's what this whole thing is about. You're just like, oh God, here we go again.
No. Well, like sometimes, like whenever I open my phone, I get this ad from this app called Liven or Livin. Do you ever get ads from the Liven app?
I haven't had a dating app in a long time.
No. It's not a dating app. It's not a dating app. It's an app where you get this voice made with AI that's singing,
What?
and the voice is singing. This is what hypersexuality looks like.
That's what your phone says?
Yeah, in women or men, based on the Liven app. It's like it's an app designed to improve, to make you stop procrastinating and stuff. And it says, and I keep getting ads from this app called Liven, which keeps talking to me about, sometimes they say this is what hypersexuality looks like in women, or this is what sexual addiction looks like in men. And so I started to look into the sexual addiction thing, and mental health professionals have refused to accept that there is a category or an illness called sex addiction. It's pop culture that's constantly promoting the idea that there is sex addiction, and most sexologists and mental health professionals say that that's a construct of pop culture. So I am against this medicalization of desire and of the libido as something like a disease, definitely. And I do think that we took I do think that I think the AIDS epidemic, HIV. I grew up very concerned, because people would talk about it in primary school, and I noticed that talk about the HIV epidemic, it became a new confirmation of original sin in a way. It became like the new original sin, and since then, I think also progressives have favored also more repression, or like progressives have been advocating for like a desexualized society in a way.
I'm scared of what you're looking at to get those kinds of ads. I just want you to know that. And if you saying that has infected my algorithm, I will walk to Colombia.
Yeah.
and give you a stern talking to. Toussaint, do you get those ads?
It's a self-help
I
app, Liven. I don't want to buy it, but
Please don't.
it's self help out. I think I've gotten the live in ads. My connection dropped out. So you guys talking about the live in ads? Those are the ones where the person's like depressed and then they help them, and then they go to the
Arturo
park.
made that shit sound like it was crazy.
yeah.
It's like a sad guy who already has a wife, and then
Yeah.
Liven helps him, and then he goes to the park alone, and then he's happy.
Yeah.
But it's like a cute cartoon.
What kind of
It
ads do
helps you
you
become
guys
divorced.
get?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, those ads are real. I've seen the ones where they're singing but the words don't rhyme. It's just like,
It's made with AI. It's made with
yeah,
AI.
yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
And then there's a Google Translate into Spanish also, which is even weirder.
Mm,
So
that makes sense.
I've never seen these ads.
yeah.
I've never seen
They say procrastination is not a lack of
Yes.
discipline. It's from a broke mentality fueled by self-doubt. And the
Yes.
Spanish version translates self-doubt as autocompasión, which is not self-doubt, that's self-compassion. So
Mhm.
and they get these like K-pop sounding bots to sing.
Yeah.
And it's just a nasty little cartoon of a guy in the shower and a guy who's verbally abusing his wife.
What?
Like a guy who's
What?
talking nasty to his wife, and then his
Are
wife
you
is talking
being
nasty to
serious?
him. Yeah, they look like these cartoons like from Family Guy or Simpsons. Like they
Mhm.
constantly try, but the reason I brought it up is because the app also mentions hypersexuality and sex addiction as part of the problem of lack of concentration. And I'm like, because I guess people all over ever since that film also, there was this movie about some guy with that actor Christian Bale, I think, about a sex addict or something. And so this entered the popular discourse,
I have
this
no
kind of pop
clue.
psychology, like yeah. And the reason I brought that up is because I see this more as like some kind of, I don't know, pseudoscientific moralizing. I mean, I'm not against. I'm not trying to be P Diddy or whatever. But I do think that we are living in the after effects of moral panic and new forms of like secular puritanism. And I think that fed into the idea, because since the rise of the dating apps, according to Pew Research and statistics, not that I'm a great believer in stats, but they do say that more of the people who favor online matches, they tend to find a contacts like in the real world, as in seductive type of or flirtation in the real world, much more problematic than people who lived maybe shortly before the boom in dating apps. So the dating app as a consent form does feed um, into this new value system, which judges people flirting or approaching one another in real life. I do. There seems to be a connection there, and it's been proven also that the presence of a smartphone on a table or in a room or on a bus or whatever, it not only diminishes eye contact but makes strangers smile less at each other. There's research proving that. I was looking for the source for that just before we went online, because I had it yesterday, but I can put it in the comments later. And So yeah, basically my article is just trying to connect the dots between all these things and to make some kind of case for a revolt against this kind of monopoly. Um, of course, it's not that I'm against using an app. I just wish it. I actually wish it actually worked. You
Well,
know.
that's what I wanted. This is the next question I want to ask you. Using the doctorow concept of enshittification. Sorry,
Yeah.
have dating apps, or how have they declined in quality as the profit motives overtook the social purpose? Can this cycle ever be reversed, or is it just inherent in platform capitalism?
Well, after I saw interviews with Dr. Rowe talking about enshittification
Hmm.
and the way he described the enshittification of platforms like Facebook and other services, I thought, wow, this must also apply to Tinder and Match Group products. So I wrote to him. I found his email and I wrote to him, and he answered with one sentence saying, "Look, I met my wife many, many years before dating apps were a thing. I got married and I've stayed married since for the past 30 years, so I have no idea."
Oh,
I was a bit surprised though, because even if I mean, he has a scholarly approach, so I thought maybe he wouldn't just, you know, go from personal experience of dating apps, but he would want to apply his theory. But I guess we can apply his theory of enshittification. Um, I haven't read that book though to the end, so I don't know what he proposes is the solution for enshittification, if going to the court is what he proposes, or antitrust. I guess he's also making the case for antitrust,
yeah,
basically,
yeah.
because yeah. And I thought that Obama's administration was the first to be completely lackadaisical about antitrusts, but he traces this problem, I think, back to George W. Bush,
Hmm.
and says it got worse with Trump. So yeah.
Toussaint, do you want to add something to that?
Hmm. Um, I watch a lot of anti-manosphere and feminist videos. And they're informative because I'm not on the apps. So a lot of them say that women are not on the apps anymore because it can be dangerous. Apparently, one of the things I think Tinder was doing was they were finding out that certain men were getting reported for being creepy or violent or, just bad stuff. And Tinder was taking them out of the dating pool and then putting them right back in.
But do you think that the physical danger is why a woman goes offline, or women just don't like this interface? They don't feel they need it to meet to attract a guy. I mean, because all the dating apps have had a demographic problem for a very long time,
Mhm.
which is also why I have this theory of why they don't clean up all the fake profiles of female content creators and escorts and sex workers, because they need to preserve the illusion that there are some women on the app, and there
Mhm.
are very few women on the app. The ratio,
Right.
I'm not sure if it's 5 to 1 or 4 to 1 or 6 to 1. I'd have to double check.
Mhm.
Bumble is has the most the has the ratio that of the most women, and yet even on Bumble, which was started by a woman who left the Match
Mhm.
Group, she says because of sexual harassment, even Bumble has more men than women on it.
Mhm.
So there, almost all the dating apps have a demographic problem in which the men outnumber the women,
Mhm.
and so I don't know if that. I mean, because these scandals with um, abusive male users, I think that began to be much more widely reported recently,
Hmm.
but the demographic problem has pre-existed that. And
Hmm.
my theory is that the reason why they don't do a cleanup is because having all these fake profiles of pictures of women gives guys the idea that there are women on this app. So
Right.
yeah.
No, I think that's a good theory. They have to
Mhm.
do something, and
Yeah,
it's a lot of the men that are paying for these extra features and things.
yeah.
And if you hear that women are leaving the app, then you will maybe be more likely to pay to get a better experience and find one of the last five women that are still on the app. So the women are running away from dangerous situations on these dates. They're reporting it, and the apps aren't doing anything. But also, the women are running into manosphere guys, and they don't even want to deal with that. Um, so that's
Mhm.
one reason why. Well, two reasons why the women are leaving the apps. They find that a lot of the men are just
But
swiping on everybody, so it's like a numbers game for them. And then when you start talking to them, it's clear that they didn't read your profile at all. They just saw that you probably have a vagina, and they were like, I want one of those. And
well,
they start talking, and it's like, oh, you are nothing that I want.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was complaining to a dude I know that, whenever I do match with a girl and she turns out to be an escort, and he says, "No, that's because you're matching only the ones that you find that the pretty ones are the ones you like. You have to match absolutely all of them. You have to like
Mm.
like a machine gun."
It is
Uh,
a numbers game, though. I
yeah.
mean, I don't understand why that's hard for people to get through their head. It's you at a certain point, people want to talk to people if you're on an app, even if you're not paying.
But regarding the manosphere types, I mean, look, I got very embarrassed because Ashley Frawley read an article of mine and she wanted to talk about Andrew Tate, and I didn't know who he was. That
Mhm.
was in 2022, I think, towards the end of 2022. But now I know who Andrew Tate is. And I do recall him saying something like dating apps are for pussies or something. Like he tells his followers not to go on dating apps, but rather
Just
to,
hit the girl over the head like the Neanderthals and
yeah,
drag her
yeah,
by the hair.
yeah, to, or to, yeah. I don't know what his dating advice is, to convert to Islam, I suppose, or I don't know.
I wish it was that easy.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Salaikum salam. Ooh.
Yeah, it is a good strategy. This, but
um,
or to, I don't know, to get pumped up and to get rich, and then to, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there are red pill dudes on these apps because there are all kinds of hyper online freaks on these apps, and
Yeah.
mhm.
so of course that happens. Of course, I yeah.
So did Ashley Frawley call you Andrew Tate? She was saying you are a
No,
Ruby Andrew Tate.
no. I mean, she wanted to talk about that with me because of the first article I ever published on sublation, which was about responding to the media crisis, the media discussion on the decline of men, and I wanted to focus on, my article focuses on capitalism's role in the decline of men, or in the so-called crisis of masculinity, and also it focuses on how the face of warfare has changed, and that has, and the face of journalism, and in the neoliberal era. And so my thesis is that what's called the decline of men is driven by neoliberalism in different forms. So, like the idea, for example, that a college degree is the new finishing school or finishing high school. Matt Taibbi had a very good essay back in the day, before he became rich, on how that was part of neoliberalism, and I think that also is part of the decline of men. or what's called the decline of men, is the hyper fetishization of college degrees, the rise of forms of warfare like the drone. That also, so there's no. Anyway, I'm going off topic. I'm sorry. Yeah, but anyway, Ashley Frawley wanted to then talk about Andrew Tate, who was becoming a very big nuisance, I guess, in the UK. But at the time, I didn't know who he was. I probably had met dudes, though, who had consumed Andrew Tate by the sound of them and the sound of him. Of course, it is impressive that an airhead can get such a large following. I guess it's really
He can
impressive.
fight. He can fight, and he was on some reality television shows in the UK. So
Yeah,
he's
that's
a
Mhm.
presence when television was still a thing, and I think he's got a belt in kickboxing. So
Yeah, he's an MMA fighter.
he might
Yeah.
do some of that now, but he was like a kickboxer.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
those things. And like I said, he was on like a Big Brother show in the UK.
I mean, would you distinguish Andrew Tate from the gangster rapper fashion? Like,
Fuck yeah, there's massive differences.
I mean, some of them were more artistic or creative.
I mean, are you
Obviously.
talking like
Yeah.
rap from the 90s, or you mean like cats now? Because I think hip hop now is just a caricature of a joke that somebody had in the 90s.
You mean with auto tune or something?
Well,
like
I just think
auto-tune rap?
Andrew Tate is a caricature of the modern idea of what the alpha male is,
Yeah.
right? You
But
got
he's
to be
trying
rich.
to be gangster in a way.
Sure, right? The no one knows what real gangster shit is because gangster shit is controlled by multinational corporations,
Totally.
right? We talk about gambling. There's no mob anymore. No one's getting roughed up if they
No.
don't pay their fucking insert gambling app here tab.
Yeah.
So drugs are, there's no nefarious man behind a corner. It's just all at CVS. So this idea of being a thuggish, well put together gangster capitalist, he's just a caricature of what people think success looks like.
Yeah. Totally.
That's what he is in my opinion. But he actually can fight. And I think that's the thing that changes why people might follow him, because a lot of people haven't gotten into a real fight. If you're watching this show, I feel real comfortable that you probably haven't been punched in the face.
Oh.
Have you been punched in the face?
I would say yeah. We don't advocate violence against women, even when you can't see.
I didn't say it was a man that punched you in the face.
Either way.
You could have been talking to somebody's man and got punched in the face. Knowing you.
I'm AI.
Well, also a lot of guys who are writing articles online for Slate and the NY Times about masculine feminism also are guys who've never approached a woman, and they've never been rejected by a woman who they approached in a bar. So these are the guys who support this, this kind of, macho feminism. I mean, the guys who, I guess I learned the manosphere. I had the strange fortune of meeting some manosphere dudes, some bodybuilder who began to explain all this terminology to me. And so he said a white knight is a guy who is a male feminist, and and then they'd make a verb out of that. And so I thought it was, I always like to hear different forms of slang of different, subcultures, but in any case, I do find that a lot of the men on in the academic left who also support certain discourses on gender and feminism uncritically are guys who either they met their wife on a dating app or the university campus was their dating app. And so they were at a campus where a woman who was a classmate could see their qualities in class, or and we were introduced via friends on campus. And so there are guys who lack that experience of getting rejected a lot, which I think is an experience that all men have to go through. I mean, the problem with the manosphere is that they see that as a grave injustice, that a man gets rejected. And it's just something that it's just a rite of passage that you have to go through. But the manosphere guys believe that they all deserve free escort service subsidized by the states, that they have to make zero efforts at all to be interesting to women. And so that's a very postmodern culture and problem. Like they're very postmodern. They're not like typical fascists who want to go back to feudalism. They rather see all kinds of normal things, normal processes of in life as, or mundane processes in life as grave injustices, like getting rejected by some woman. They see it as a grave injustice. Or if a woman is impressed by a man having or if a woman expects a man to pay for drinks, they see that as a grave injustice. So in a way, they're not exactly as traditionalist as they claim to be. They're more, I don't know, discontents of just, I mean, I guess they're just hyper online, and they have a lot in common with what's called the woke movements, I think, because they see all kinds of mundane things as forms of oppression because they're not really in touch with or aware of real oppression, I think. So
Tucson, do you want to add something to that?
Sure. I think that's very true. A lot of these guys feel they have the right to not be rejected. They don't handle rejection well. They don't have good social skills, and they default to anger, which is sometimes scary. They may do that on a date. They do that on TikTok. They talk about hurting women, and
When you said?
they talk about hurting women
Oh, hurting women.
and how all of these issues are women's fault. There's certainly an issue of femicide, and women are not into it.
I
It's
well, they politicize these things. I mean, many guys
yeah.
like if a normal man gets ghosted, it's normal to be irritated.
Mhm,
It's irritating, but they see it as they see rejection as a political injustice, that it's a
mhm,
political system, that women are a cartel doing this to men, denying them sex and whatever, and that they should not, and that they can, smell like a heap of gym socks on the date and still
mhm,
get laid. And that's very hyper modern about it, that they see that as a systemic injustice. And that's kind of like the woke person who in the bistro in New York sees if their coffee is not lactose intolerant or not lactose free or something, they feel they were selected for oppression. I mean, it's like a postmodern idea of what oppression is, I think. um, yeah,
mhm,
that's how I read it. The manosphere. I mean, the red pill community.
mhm. Right. No, I think that's very true, and in that kind of environment, it's impossible to flirt.
Yeah.
It's there's no room for that. If someone says something, instead of saying something sort of cheeky back, you will go into your talking points that the manosphere gives you.
Yeah.
and you'll
But is
find.
that does that have a lot to do though with the hyper politicization of people in this current climate, like where everything is partisan and flirting can't just be flirting; it has to be a political agenda in your flirting. I mean, I've noticed that with older men that I come across here in Mexico, the U.S. Expats and tourists, that
Mhm.
everything is oh so politicized. Is that something you think happens with younger men as well, Toussaint and Arturo?
Hmm. I wonder. I think they're in the manosphere. They do tell you that there's definitely an agenda. That feminism is about oppressing men, and that sexism and oppression of women doesn't exist. It's actually the men who are oppressed, and then they'll tell you about the court system. Men who don't have children will tell you about the court system and
Hmm.
how it favors women and all of these sorts of things. So they feel there's a setup. The game is rigged against them.
Do you ever look at those dudes and be like, how has this conversation been working out for you as far as making like meeting someone and having them continue to talk to you?
They are not results based.
Oof.
They are also not self aware. So there was this guy who called up a radio station, and they do this thing where they call the other person in your situation and they try to get information about what happened and maybe get you two talking again. So the guy calls up the radio station and they have the radio station call this woman that he went on a date with. So they're like, "Hey, you're on the radio now. We just want to know about what happened on your date, and why didn't you give my man Nick a call back?" So she's like, "Oh, the date did not go well." And they were like, "What happened?" She was like, "Well, he was mostly talking about himself, and then he didn't ask about me, and then on and on. Eventually, it comes out that this guy starts talking about how much he admires Hitler."
Awesome.
And she's like, "I'm
Awesome.
Jewish and
Uh,
I'm a person, and this is not a conversation." So they bring the guy back online.
Mhm.
And he was like, "I was not under the impression that you were offended by that. I didn't know that this upset you. I thought the date was going really well." And she's like, "How could the date be going really well? You said you admired Hitler, and I told you I was Jewish." But he didn't get it. He didn't get it.
But okay, a lot of those shows
Mhm.
are not real.
Sure. But you see
Um,
the lack of self awareness in a lot of people,
I did
especially.
hear a real story. Sorry,
Okay, sure.
are you gonna go in your feminist chat rooms and be? And a man interrupted me again.
They already know that you interrupt me. I have you like designated as an interrupter in the chat rooms already. If you see this man, he's going to interrupt you.
I hate your face. I know what it looks like, and I hate it. I'm going to draw a picture of it with my mediocre skills for everyone else to see. I heard an actual story from a woman that went on a dating app date where the guy wasn't a Hitler fanatic, but she had made a comment. I think I've said this to you before about she worked at a bar and she dropped off the cash deposit at night and she did it alone. And she goes, I hate dropping off the deposit alone. And the guy was like, why? If you were a man, it wouldn't be an issue. And she was like, well, I'm a small woman with thousands of dollars and I'm walking down a street at 2:00 in the morning. This is just uncomfortable. And he was like, equal rights.
Mhm.
And at that moment, she's just there and the date is over in her mind. And she is polite and they order their food. I think it was like pizza.
these people exist. I mean,
Yeah, they fucking exist. And so the food comes and the guy was he didn't have the money to pay for he had chose the spot,
Mm.
but he didn't have the money to pay for it, so they had to go Dutch. And she was like, okay, these things happen, not everybody's going to be rich. And she was actually cool with that. It was the attitude that really pissed her off. And at the end of the date, she's like, okay, have a good one. And the guy goes, well, let me walk you to your car. And she's like, why? And then she said, she got in her car and left. And the dude started sending messages like, thought the date went really well. I can't wait to see you again. I think we got something real special here.
Those messages were from ChatGTP, actually.
Oh, those like I do think there could be a level of delusion. If you haven't really talked to people in a long time, like I will admit this myself, I am in my house a lot. I haven't left in like 3 or 4 days. So it's a lot for me to talk to people. And also I live in a country where English is not the language. So then I have to start thinking in Spanish again. So it's always a lot for me whenever I leave my house and have to interact with the world. And I've been thinking a lot, so I just unload.
You talk to yourself.
Sometimes it's when I answer back that there could be a problem.
Okay.
But I understand to a certain extent. But I understand to a certain extent how people that probably don't get, especially if you work from home too, right? You probably don't get out much. You don't interact much. If your life is working from home and then like home delivery, right? Like I'm getting your food and groceries delivered.
Stop talking about my life, Jason. I talk to the delivery people.
I bet you do. And they're like, oh, this bitch.
But the women who, the minority of women who think and who say that all men are disgusting, femicidal maniacs, as described by Andrea Dworkin, they are the female version of the red pill community, or the red pill community is the macho version or the male version of these women. Like, I don't know, like Andrew Tate is like the male Andrea Dworkin, but without the brain cells, I guess. Or
I mean, I think that's interesting. I do see a parallel. I wouldn't say that they're different sides of the same coin.
no.
I think the feminists have a point, and the manosphere guys don't. That's all.
Well, I think the feminists have a trauma that is real. They're traumas that are real, and the manosphere guys are just mostly online. Although, I mean, I do believe that the 21st century anachronistic rebellions promoted by corporate media that passed for feminism did some damage in alienating and some guys and feeding a lot of paranoia, because it's dangerous when certain forms of I don't know, I don't want to use the adjective woke all the time, but certain forms of the kind of anachronistic feminism that became fashionable online in the 2010s, when that is conflated with the entire history of women's rights, that becomes very dangerous, I think, because there are men who don't know how to be nuanced at all. They cannot say, here are some things from contemporary feminism that I dislike, that I feel free to criticize in public. Instead, they conflate the entire existence of women's rights and of women with certain very visible, very influential, mostly online feminists who are unhinged, and then they dismiss all of women's rights, or they demonize women. And I think that is a problem that maybe began in Western societies, but has spread all over the world. So, in very dangerous manifestations, because I do find that in Western societies there was good reason to be more critical of certain manifestations of what was passing for feminism in the 2010s. But that discourse, the anti-woke discourse or the Peterson type discourse, it then got replicated in countries like Uganda or India, where the situation of women is completely different than it is in the West. But men in these countries who are online and in the red pill community, in Asia, in Africa, in Latin America, they've adopted out of contexts a Western critique of Western feminism in countries where you don't have where women do not have the same privileges as women in the West. Am I being? I don't know if I'm being. How do you say? If I'm speaking clearly, or
No, we understand.
yeah.
Toussaint, do you want to add something to what Arturo's saying?
Sure. No, I think you made a lot of really good points. I just want to say there's lots of different kinds of feminism. I do find feminism to be different than like a mainstream white feminism. There's like neoliberal feminism, and there's leftist feminism as well. So I like my feminism with leftism and with like an informed perspective from women of color, particularly black women.
Hmm. How
And
convenient.
the kind of feminism that the manosphere goes against is usually a caricature of mainstream white feminism, mainstream white neoliberal feminism.
I agree that it's a reaction to mainstream white neoliberal feminism, which is why I guess Andrew Tate he's not white, and he's also very popular among young boys who are not white. And I also sometimes I have the impression, because there are many influential or important black feminists in the U.S., but I do get the impression that like Latina women in the U.S. are often spoken for by establishment feminism, or spoken for by white feminism about their issues. I get that strong impression often, though I'm not
Yeah,
living in the U.S.
we all are. We're all spoken for by that kind of feminism. They like to speak for Arab women quite a bit as well,
Of course.
um, and are outraged by their treatment, but like not enough to say maybe don't have a genocide or something. Anyway, yeah, so definitely different kinds of feminism, but the one that most people know is what's mainstream. Most people have not like looked into feminism, its history, or anything like that. So, we have to deal with people where they are. But certainly the manosphere and all of the red pill content is worldwide. You can see it in different cultures, at different countries, same talking points, same words.
But getting back to dating apps, I did want to get back to dating apps while we're here. Unless do you have something you want to add, Arturo? I'm sorry.
No, just that what's also common about the red pill guys, they don't seem to understand that they're clamoring to enjoy certain rights or privileges that came with the rights of women. So the right to date freely, or to
Hmm.
have fun, it's because of you're not under enormous pressure to immediately get married before having sex anymore. I mean, that's
Hmm.
because of the emancipation of women. I mean, like they want the rights that came with the earliest forms of.
But is this problem that these people have an idea, kind of like the Make America Great Again crowd, where you have an idea of an imagined past and you can't really understand technology and progress, especially
Yeah,
when
of
it comes to
course.
women?
Yeah, of course. I mean, in my family, a few generations ago, a patriarch was a guy who, from the age of 12, he had to support his 8 sisters and his mother
Mhm.
because his father was murdered. And as a
Jesus.
result, he was like, as an old man, he was like a rock. I mean, he was silent. He never developed, his brain because he was constantly working to he was the man of the house, and he was the patriarch, but he couldn't. All he did was work from Monday to Monday, 10 hours a day, so to support these 8 women. So because they couldn't work, so that's the reality of patriarchy. It wasn't much fun for anybody, I guess. I mean, but
Today's man enjoys dating a woman who has the freedom and ability to work outside the home and get paid for it and go Dutch on dates.
That's
so
the privilege of being today's man. Is that what you're saying?
You don't pay for the date, man. You make her pay for it. I was telling Jason, there
but you
was
don't get
some
laid then.
Damn,
you shouldn't.
says the guy that doesn't like condoms.
I didn't say I don't like condoms.
Yeah, you
But he
did.
didn't say
Yeah,
that.
you did. You're like, look, this age shit is fucking it up for everybody.
That's not what I said.
Just give me the shot for the syphilis. I'm okay,
Yeah.
ma'am. I've had it.
I always pay for all the drinks.
That's very good. Well, I was telling Jason that what some men are doing now is they're agreeing to meet with a woman at a certain place and they show up early. And so when the woman gets there, the man is already sitting at the table and he says that he ate already. So if she wants something to eat, she has to pay for it herself.
That was crazy when you were saying that shit. Have you heard about this, Arturo?
No.
So imagine you don't have money for a date and you agree to meet someone somewhere.
Yeah.
And you show up there and like you early, right?
Mhm.
and your date comes and she sits down to eat and you're like, oh, I already ate. Like whatever you get is on you.
Well, at least we're on to the connection between economics and dating now. Good Marxist.
I do
taking an
think
economic analysis.
that's another thing people don't really talk about is like who's got the money to constantly go out and date. I mean, we talked about this a little bit. I think it was last year we did a show with Tyler Austin Harper on polyamory. Like, well, who can afford
Right.
to be in a relationship and find other relationships? In what ways do dating apps reproduce the alienation of capitalist labor, turning emotional connection into a repetitive, gamified task where success feels arbitrary?
That sounded very good, that question.
It does. It sounds like that an essay on its own.
Yeah.
I was up till 2 in the morning doing this.
Well,
So you're not going to answer it? Fuck off. He's like, get back to the condoms, okay? I wear condoms, all right?
well, ghosting is a behavior that fits the era, and it's also celebrated. Like Taylor Swift, I by accident heard 2 songs of Taylor Swift, and she was talking about ghosting as something that's fun to do, and so this ideology, the fact that they turned ghost into a verb also is somehow, because it's a noun, of course, that's somehow quite telling that we're in this era of phantasmagoria, and everything is online, and I do find that dating apps. I mean, I have not aged drastically in recently, in the past 5-6 years, but I noticed that I used to make eye contact more often with a lady in maybe in public transport or some other place in the physical world. And it became less and less. And I told a psychologist about that. I thought, what changed about me? And the psychologist said, I don't think that I think it's more a sociological thing because of the smartphones. That everything goes via the smartphone, and I don't have that. I don't know if this answers your question, but there are studies that do say that if the moment a smartphone is present in the room, strangers smile at each other less and they have less eye contact. So, and of course, dating apps are all via the smartphone. I mean, very few people use them on the computer, with the exception maybe of OkCupid. That's a dating app people more often use on their PC or laptop, but most of them, Hinge, Tinder, Grindr, which there's a comedian who said, I forget who it is, but he said Grindr is the only app that works because it's for gay men and it's basically a GPS.
There's some people that have told me their complaints with Grindr, and I won't get into it. But
there was one murder in Colombia of a gay man who met a boy on Grindr, and it was a setup. He was ambushed and he was chopped up. Yeah, that happened. I think this year. An Italian software engineer was killed in Santa Marta by his Grindr dates. It's interesting though that Tinder sounds a lot like Grindr, and Grindr is the older app. So that means that Tinder is basically a duplicate of Grindr. It's the heterosexual version of Grindr, basically. Basically that it doesn't work, as well.
Well, I mean, there was a time where these apps worked. I met my son's mother through a dating app, and
really.
Mm-hmm. One of my good friends, he met his girlfriend of 8 years through a dating app.
But Jason, I imagine you talking to a lady in a supermarket and stopping somebody.
I'm glad you have that vision. I'm just like you. I'm just afraid to look like I'll get real autistic and just start looking at Wayne Man. No, I'm not. Women terrify the shit out of me.
Really?
Oh my
God.
Don't
you have, I thought you said in the conversation of Adolf Reed, you admitted to having 20 children or more?
No. Toussaint lies. I never said that because I have 4. I do not have 20. I'm not you. I'm not you. I wear condoms.
My impression was that was why you went to work on the oil rig to feed all these children.
20 children that I had without condoms. No, that's Toussaint lying again.
Okay.
This is why Andrew Tate exists.
I love this.
If you want to know why Andrew Tate exists, look no further than the faceless AI woman.
This whole conversation is so great. I want to tell you, Arturo, that someone in the chat said, with Arturo's accent alone, he could get laid by anybody.
That person is so fucking dumb.
Well, I think, right? Sometimes they say you have to go somewhere else. So if you're British and you got a British accent, Britain, nobody cares. You got to go somewhere else.
Isn't that just the most make-believe shit in the world? Like,
you
move to Georgia or to
Tennessee.
You really think like Arturo's gonna walk? He's gonna go to West Hollywood, where just the most beautiful people ever are just the most beautiful people in whatever city you live in are the ugly people there. He's just gonna walk in and be like, "Buenos dias," and they're gonna be like, "Oh, do you want some pussy?"
Yes,
that's not how that shit works.
I found that I found that people from other places, even if they speak English well, if you say, "Oh, my English is not so good," people like that. They like that a lot.
They don't.
Oh, my English is not perfect, and then their English is perfect. Yeah,
no.
That works. People like accents.
I have an accent.
Depends on the context.
I have an accent. And when I go and order something in Spanish and I say, my Spanish isn't very good, they go, "It isn't."
No.
They correct me.
That's because of the relationship between the United States and Mexico. But if Arturo comes to the United States, he's going to make it like a bandit.
I think Jason will be successful. I think Jason will be very successful in Argentina, though.
Yeah.
I'll go. I was in Brazil for about a month
No, in
touring.
Brazil, you are not exotic.
All of Arturo's racism came out. Well, you're just an N-word there.
Not exotic is the phrase.
I also didn't know that there were so many N-words there.
No, I mean, like, I am not exotic in Argentina. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why you
But
gotta
I
get
mean,
out of
look,
there.
Do you think
Although
he's
I
just going to walk into Japan? Just
Well,
fucking
yeah,
keep the
maybe not
doors open at
Japan.
a bar in Tokyo, and all of a sudden these women just can't get enough?
I got a friend from Detroit who says that he does great in Japan. He lives there. His wife is Japanese, so is his mistress. It's great.
Well, many African American tourists, they say very positive thing. They say they were very pleasantly surprised by their experience of Argentina. Many,
Hmm.
yeah.
Were they all buff as fuck though?
No, just men and women. They say this about Argentina. So
I mean, if just a regular, fluffy dude can go to Argentina and just hot women want to bang them, then I'm sure more dudes would go there. But a lot of them come down here for the sexual tourism. It's kind of gross.
yeah,
The sexual tourism is an issue. I mean, you were talking about that in your article about how some of them are getting murked by people in the country that they're visiting. I think that if you're, I don't know, maybe in the court of public opinion, they're not sympathetic victims.
well, I mean, one thing is to go to brothels, and of course, there's a terrible brothel tourism
Hmm.
in Colombia, and and I grew up in the Caribbean, Latin American region, so I was always aware of it, and I always disliked tourism and that kind of tourism in particular. Uh, but I do find that guys who just want to date um, um, date a woman and an attractive woman, yeah, that's normal. And I mean, they're not on a Tinder app to find prostitution. They're on a Tinder app to meet a girl to go out with.
No way. No way. You need to get on YouTube and you need to watch their videos where they talk about how much they hate Western women and Western women are poisoned by feminism. And you have to go to these other countries where being a woman and being feminine is still okay.
Well, but
So,
well, if I immigrated to the Netherlands at the age of 21, and I
mm,
noticed that the Dutch men and women can't stand each other. The German men and women, they can't stand each other, and the British men and women, they hate each other, and they're all looking for someone from another culture. And the women
mhm,
also, they want a guy who's from a culture where the men wear something more interesting than a t-shirt, where they hold the door open, where they
mhm,
are paying for her drinks,
mhm,
whereas the Dutch, German, and British men, they don't live up to that. They don't. It's not just that the women of these countries don't have that femininity, but the men lack a certain sensuality as well. And you'll see that all these German women, they're sex tourists as well. They go to Africa, they go to
mhm,
Latin America, they take tango
mhm,
courses in Buenos Aires because they want to meet a Latin dude who does these things that the British and American and German and Swedish men don't do. And the
mhm,
women are similar. That there's this tension between the sexes, but I don't think it's just feminism that did that. I think it's
mhm,
these cultures are just Protestants, and they're cultures that have a terrible gastronomy also. I mean, today feminism is everywhere, all over Latin America too.
mhm,
A lot of the young girls are very into feminism and into radical influencer feminism in Mexico, even in Colombian major cities. So, but I don't blame these guys for wanting a woman who is feminine. I mean, feminine does not mean submissive weak or anything. It's just about sensuality or style more than anything else. I think it's more an aesthetic. There are guys, of course, who are looking for, like, there are all these weird, marriage agencies
Mm,
advertising Ukrainian women as traditional and all that shit. And so that too exists. I'm not denying that what you're saying exists,
mhm, mhm.
but I don't think that a North American or North European guy who likes Latinas is necessarily following his impulse to be an oppressor. He's just turned on by women
That
who are,
ass.
huh?
That
That
ass.
too. Yeah, I wasn't gonna say that, but yeah,
Oh
that's
God.
Sometimes you
maybe
just
that.
gotta say that ass, Arturo. It's fine. You're in a safe
Yeah.
space. You're in a safe space.
There.
Well, but but you have American and European girls who have a big butt. I mean, but there's something
It's just
more to it.
yeah. They want the idea of the spiciness, right? They
Well, what's wrong with that? I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's just
what's wrong with liking
fantasy.
what you like? The Toussaint.
Mm. Toussaint, you're a person who doesn't like what they like.
You're Toussaint. You're a person that hates being fetishized. So you,
Yes.
as you walk around with your Haitian garb all the time,
And the flag. Um,
Oh,
carrying a basket on your fucking head as you go to the bodega.
it's a good way to carry things.
Just letting the fellas know what's up. Hey, hey, won't be waiting with a Haitian. I made that up. I don't know if that's a real saying.
There's definitely dudes who are in it for, a wife or
that's
something.
what dudes. Yeah.
They're looking for romance, but a lot of them are not. Initially, I thought they were, but they're not. They're not. They're
Or
not.
girlfriends. I don't know.
Because I think if you fetishize something like that, right? If you're like, oh, I love Latin women, it's like, well, you love an idea. They're not all the same. They are
Right.
not all this. It's crazy to think they're all the same.
But
Sure.
it's also very enticing to go somewhere where your money goes further. So
Sure.
they go there and they feel like, oh, I don't have to earn as much to impress this woman as I would in the States. And
Sure.
it's exploiting imperialism, exploiting,
Oh
you
yeah.
know, the
Oh,
power
and they
dynamic.
don't. But you
But
know
we
what?
all do. I mean, we're all in this system. We're all doing it on some level.
No one sees it that way, right? They just think that, or they believe that, I just have this preference in men or women, and it's not racist. It's not expressing imperialistic desires. It's just I like this type of woman, and that's what it is. Like, how do you think it's worth explaining to these people about imperialism?
But I love dark haired ladies or love Latin ladies. They like a blonde guy as well. I mean, they find it not because of he's an emissary of imperialism. They just find it sexy or something new. I mean, something that they haven't had before. I don't know. I mean, it's both ways. I think.
I
Um,
I
Go ahead.
think these people have some understanding of imperialism. They also have some understanding of just, I guess, sort of the decline of countries like the United States, where people aren't earning as much. We haven't Our minimum wage is still, stagnant and pretty low, and they want more for their money in general, and the woman is just another thing.
But
Um
aren't Chinese guys extremely then popular these days?
Yes, they're popular
Okay,
down here.
with
Yeah, they're
women,
real
yeah,
popular down here.
with
Yeah,
Mexican women.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't, so Turo's like, see, fucking striking out again.
Well, see, that's my theory. Their accents are hot in Mexico, and
Chinese accents.
you got to come back to the States. That's what that means.
Okay.
He's
Don't
gonna
come
do
to
it.
the States. If you come to the States,
Don't come to the
that's not
States.
what we want to prove that guy right. It's like, look, Arturo's not getting laid. Say hello. Say hello. Nope. Nobody gives a shit.
Maybe
Yeah,
Canada.
I mean, Arturo told you he grew up in the Netherlands.
No, I didn't grow up in the Netherlands. I went to the Netherlands when I was 21, and I grew up on
Did you get laid
Aruba.
a lot there? Hold on before you start going on your fucking journey. We don't care about your CV right now. Did you get laid a lot in the Netherlands when you spoke?
What is a lot? I mean, they found my accent funny. They found my accent entertaining, and I exaggerated it a bit.
But you're from
I spoke worse, even worse Dutch than I actually do, and I don't speak good Dutch at all.
I'm
I
so
don't.
mad. You're like, well, what do you call a lot? Because I
I
call
know,
a
right?
lot 47.
I mean,
I know what a lot is to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I was never really into Dutch girls because they didn't, because Aruba being a Dutch ex-colony, and you
Mhm.
see Dutch girls in the high school, and it's harder to romanticize them because there are these very rigid daughters of some military personnel, and they're not very feminine. Usually they don't, like, they don't do the things that Latin American girls do. They don't care a lot for their how they look or walk. They don't put on a nice perfume. They're all into playing this very sports like hockey, not ice hockey, but hockey. So I was never, but most Latin guys go bananas over any blonde woman whatsoever. They see a blonde woman, doesn't matter if she has pimples, doesn't matter if she has if she has a glass eye, if she's blonde, she's a goddess to them. And most Argentinian guys also, they fetishize any blonde. I could never get into that because on the Dutch ex-colony, the Dutch people don't have that kind of romantic aura about them. But like, I've often met Colombian guys or other Latin guys who say, yes, the European women are different because they're more independent and they're taller, and it's just so different. I want a North European girlfriend. And to me, I don't know, I was more interested in the girls next door, but Aruba is like a very conservative version of Puerto Rico in a way. So yeah.
Toussaint hates Frenchmen for the same reason.
Because they don't shower as often, supposedly.
If you're from Quebec, she hates you. So she's like,
well, I was talking to a Colombian guy who told me, well, I had a French girlfriend. Everything was great, except that she didn't like the shower. So then
yikes.
I decided what I had to do was also stop showering. And then we'd be in a perfect symbiosis and we'd go around stinking everywhere. And I say, well, I don't shower anymore because I have a French girlfriend. It was like, these are stereotypes about Europeans that somehow that are not really true, but they're believed. And, like in Latin America, they have these stereotypes that Europeans don't shower.
No, she's Haitian and she hates the colonizer as well.
Okay. All right. That's what I was.
She does not about them being like dirty or having hairy armpits because she's also a hippie and wears hemp clothes.
Oh, okay.
French men don't shave their armpits. It's terrible.
You think, but you find it attractive if a man shaves his armpits?
She wants a man to shave everything.
She
says if the dude isn't smooth,
like the porn actors, like shave the genitals. Yeah.
No, she likes a little mangina, like a little hair hat for your dog.
It's gotta be a landing strip.
Yeah,
landing strip. Okay.
Yeah, I know where the planes have to land.
Oh wow. Like, it's not enough to trim. Yeah, you have to like
just she likes an old school triangle on top. That's just how she likes it. Just how she likes it. She likes a real symmetrical dude.
But like,
who wants hairy nipples? Who wants hairy nipples? Think about that. Who wants hairy nippers?
But does Toussaint like to be ever approached by a guy in public, or not?
With his pubes hanging out?
No, yeah, no. approached by a completely shaved,
A completely shaved
Um,
man approaching me.
no
It's like,
eyebrows, no.
What, like if a guy walks up to you, he's like, "Hey, how you doing? I shave my taint."
I say that could work. I think approaching somebody out in public, it depends on how you do it. Definitely for me, it depends on how you do it.
Of course.
Yeah. Some people are scary. Some people are funny. Some people are just fine, very polite.
What would you do if a dude shaved a rhombus on his right above his
Some people like to do things like that.
word?
Hearts and
Have
all
you
kinds of
have you
things.
seen there's like an art now, there's like people dyeing them.
Mhm.
So what would you do if a dude had his ball hair dyed?
That would be a little bit weird.
Was that a bridge too far?
Mm.
I wouldn't say bridge too far. I mean, I'm an artist. I like artsy dudes. So if that's how you want to express yourself, I would probably be more accepting than most women.
Of dyed ball. Wait, okay, he's got dyed ball hair and his balls are like in one of those like ball rings.
What?
As long as he announces it in his profile on the Breaker.
There you go. Put it in the profile.
Someone says, now I'm wondering how Jason, Arturo, and Tucson act on dates. I act just like this. By the way.
No.
That's why I am by myself.
Oh. I'm very polite. I don't want to get killed. I thanked the guy once for not raping or killing me. It was really
Wow.
It's nice.
That's why you're alone.
It was a nice moment.
I would be like, I'm never talking to this person again. Fucking weirdo.
But I thanked him.
What a horrible thing to thank somebody
Well,
for.
guys like that. I let him in my apartment, and
Who?
he's like, you
What?
know, I appreciate, you know, because I know it's like safety thing with women, and I was like, no, you know, I feel like it's okay, and you know, so we talked for a while, and then when he was going down the hallway, I screamed out, "Hey, man, thanks for not raping or killing me. I appreciate that."
You screamed it out in the hallway.
In the
Yeah.
hallway.
There you go. There you go.
I mean, it can
Femcel.
be. I mean, maybe it's funny if you say it to him in private, but you
Right?
scream it.
Yeah.
The whole building hears "Thanks for not raping or killing me." It's kind
I
of
would be like
incriminating.
this. I would be so angry. I would be like, I'm blocking this woman. from
No,
my
it's letting
fucking
everyone know he's a good guy.
Oh,
No,
wow.
no, that's not what it's letting everyone know.
Doing a
So he
commercial
didn't get
for him.
laid, but he gets thanked for not being rapists or murderer.
That's right. And I think for a man, that's a win.
No, no.
No.
I'm gonna do that thing where like I can't speak on. I'll speak on behalf of all men.
Of all men.
Just stop. That's weird.
Just
I
don't
know,
date MC Sonic. All men.
Yeah, there's like someone said, nah. If that bar is that low,
That's where the bar
then
is.
I don't need to be there. If the bar is that like, oh, dude, thanks for not beating the shit out of me. I'm like, whoa, that's normal for you.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't want to be here anymore because that means that you're not gonna be. Nope.
Yeah,
But what do
I
you
need to
think
be.
of people who just want to make out and kiss a lot, but don't want to go further than that ever?
No,
I don't
Jason.
want-
Jason.
Let's do this and see if they take the video down. They don't want to do this, Arturo?
Well, you might be like a chef recommending a certain.
I don't want to go to any restaurant where the waiters.
No, you never know what they're doing in
Oh,
that
yeah.
kitchen. You know, chefs are pretty obscene people. You know, yeah, I was a chef's assistant in a pizzeria.
Is
They
that
eat
what
those
they call
pizzas.
it now? Is that what they call
The mozzarella was not what it had that glow for the wrong reasons. Um, so, but like, what do you think of people who just want to make out like maybe for hours, but they
Oh, wow.
they don't ever want to go to the next level?
Arturo's like, look, man, my dick doesn't get harder than this, man.
Yeah.
We're at peak erection right now. This and this zipper is a motherfucker.
You need, if you're gonna say that to somebody, you should have mace. And if they say no, you just spray them. Just spray them down.
If they say what Jason said, but the zipper. I am disappointed though, because I really believed that joke about Jason having many children. But my goodness, does he have anything left from those years in the oil rig? So, kids, at least he was responsible. Jason almost became my manosphere hero for those children.
Believe me, if Jason wanted 20
wonder he
children,
moved
he
to
could have
Mexico.
them tomorrow.
I'm sorry. I just had this picture of a real frustrated Arturo in my head. Just
I seem that frustrated. Oh.
just standing up with a whole soliloquy with an erection. He's talking.
That sounds theatrical. Wow. So because of this essay, I seem really frustrated, or I mean,
that would be frustrating. I mean, I don't know, how long are you making out for? Like hell long? Like, what's long too? Is it long for you, like 10 minutes? Or are you like, dude, this is
well, I mean, I never really was into nightclubs until, recently I started to try going to nightclubs.
Mhm.
And so like when I would meet a girl on a date that wasn't in the context of nightclubs or youth culture or whatever, or lady, making out would usually mean that it becomes, you go to her place or mine, and it's like an adult situation. I mean, a grown-up situation. Whereas when you meet I always wondered what it would be like to have had this youth where you went to discos and you made out in discos. And then I started going out, and I noticed when you make out with a girl in a disco, it's like she wants to massage her lips for a while and then disappear or something. And I was surprised that, I don't know, there's this, making out with someone in a disco usually doesn't lead to anything else. It's like, I don't know. I mean, many people went through that phase when they were teenagers, and I recently began to try out everything. So apps, disco, club, whatever. And I was just surprised that that's how it seems to work that way. I don't know.
Have you tried church?
That's a good one. I think that would be the best. Evangelicals, of course. Yeah, the evangelicals.
Have you tried the library?
Yes.
Have you really? I was fucking around.
The library is really good.
Well, you have published books, so you can just kind of drop your published book, like,
yeah, but I think girls don't really respect poetry. They don't find that impressive. The girl poetry, the poet. Nah. I publish mostly poetry. I have written enough articles on politics and culture to publish a book on to collect them as a book, but I can't find them. I haven't found an agent for that in the English speaking world. But
Toussaint likes poets. Toussaint, if a poet came up to you, would you be impressed?
I mean, maybe. Is it good poetry? Not like, oh, I want to be a rapper and I'm going to the studio. You want to hear me rap right now? No, sir, I don't want to hear you rap right now.
What do you mean you don't want to hear someone rap right now? You live in New York. Thought that's how you people communicate. I saw that movie Rappin'. I know how this works.
That has happened to me a few times before, and it's never good.
Someone rapped at you like, hey, pretty lady, don't be late. You should go out with me on a date.
Yes.
That wouldn't work with you. It wouldn't be impressive. You'd laugh.
That's what
I
you were
know.
doing, Arturo.
No, I wouldn't laugh.
Wait. Someone rapped at you for real? Oh,
Yeah. That's the thing guys do. It's very weird,
hey,
and
pretty
I wish
lady,
it would
where are
stop.
you going? Your name, I want to be knowing. Huh.
A lot of guys do believe that becoming a clown is the way into her pants. You have to clown around and be a buffoon, and that's the way.
I mean, I
A
guess
lot
it
of
depends
guys.
on the clowning. You can't just like put your finger like, what's that? And then do the.
Why?
Yeah.
My God.
Between the clown and the rapper, I feel so horrible for Tucson.
No, when I said poetry, I didn't mean rap. I mean, girls are impressed by rappers.
Yeah.
Like they do find that attractive. Like a guy.
Why don't you just lie and say you're a fucking rapper?
I can't rap. I mean,
Just who know? No one has to know. No one's gonna be like, "Hey, give me a hot 16." Let's just be like, "I'm a rapper. I'm a rapper."
But
Poet.
do I have that criminal aura?
I mean, all rappers aren't criminals.
No,
There's that, right?
but the
Well,
popular
maybe
ones, the
well,
ones who are
no,
popular.
the most popular one is probably Kendrick Lamar, and he's far from a criminal.
Yeah, he's
He has
more
a
on the
Pulitzer.
poetic side, right?
Yeah,
He's more
so
of
there
a
you go. Be
poet.
like, I'm like a Kendrick Lamar, conscious poet rapper.
Okay.
Bam, right there.
All right.
There you go.
Mm.
But don't do any of the raps that I did at Tucson because those were.
Well, once I had to teach a course on poetry, and so I wanted to convince people that poetry was cool. So I took a bunch of poems that were like from the 17th century, and I got an app called a Rap Fame, and that puts the background music, and I recited
No.
these old poems as rap because they have that kind of rhythm and flow, and then to convince people, young people, that poetry is not alien to stuff like that they like and whatever. And it sounded pretty good, I think they told me, yeah. But other than that, I haven't tried. I mean, I didn't write this article as an advertisement of my despair. I mean, I do. I mean, yeah, okay. I mean, I struggle in the dating world. I have more success than some guys, for sure. But of course, maybe that fueled it. But I was trying to also expose like a dystopian turn in society and how the match group plays a role in this dystopia that increasingly controls and mediates courtship and man-woman relations, but became more about my own. I mean, yeah.
But we're coming up on over 2 hours here.
Yeah.
I know it's late where you are, Arturo, and I want to thank you for taking the time to come on the show and talk about your soon to be piece. But
Thank you for being generous.
Oh, always. As much as we're talking about these dating apps, how different are they, in your opinion, from video dating services or newspaper personal ads? Has technology fundamentally changed how we form relationships or just updated the interface of loneliness?
Mhm. Well, the thing is that I'm not in principle against these apps, and like video dating services and ads, I think are completely. I found that completely legitimate. There's nothing wrong with it, but I mean the idea of these apps or of these dating services initially were to help people who are a little bit on the shyer side, a little bit more introverted, to still get out there. Whereas Tinder doesn't work unless you're very extroverted, unless you're literally talking to everybody and chatting to everybody. And the algorithm is very prohibitive. It doesn't help with the goal of meeting someone. They've changed the algorithm several times. Once they used an algorithm from online chess tournaments, and then they changed it again. So the algorithms, like with video dating services and newspaper ads, there was no algorithm that was designed to frustrate. So now there's an industry, because frustration is very profitable. Like many conservative people will say, well, we're living in the time of Sodom and Gomorrah, and it's an orgy, and you can hook up tonight on a dating app, and it's terrible. But actually, there's more frustration because, of course, capitalism, I think, benefits more from frustration, because like you can use sexual desire to sell basically anything. And so I think there's this management of frustration and economy of, I mean, I don't want to get into the dangerous territory of the red pill people who just can't, they're just dudes who can't get laid, and they don't want to accept why that is. But there is an economy of frustration that also impacts women and men. And that did not exist. By comparison, the video ads where you made a video of yourself talking about yourself and you gave that to an agency, by comparison, that's much more innocent. I find.
You think?
I think so, yeah.
Interesting. Toussaint, I'm going to ask you this. Can you hear me?
Oh no. Yeah.
In an economy that commodifies everything, is there a way to reclaim intimacy and love as acts of resistance against commodification and isolation?
Yeah, I'm a big supporter of community and friendship and agape. I think too much is made of romantic love. I don't think that romantic love is a solution to male loneliness, the so-called epidemic. I think people need to look to their friends more. You'll see videos coming out of people talking about how which Z doesn't know how to be friends, or nobody knows how to be friends anymore. And you have to acknowledge that there is some inconvenience in being a friend, in being a community member, and showing up. And nobody wants to take you to the airport, but you do that because you care about the people in your life, and that's what they need. So I think better solution. And if you're so interested in romance, parents met through friends. That the friends were married. My dad was friends with the guy, and my mother was friends with the woman, and they had a house party, and that's how my parents met. And so if you're still looking for romance, that is also a way to do it. I'm not saying go to the community garden and hit on everybody, but take relationships
You're,
and good community members.
you're kind of go ahead, Arturo. Go ahead.
Well, I think also because we talked about whether people from the north, from the global north, liking Latin people, finding them sexier, or liking people from other cultures, finding them spicier, whether that's commodification or objectifying or demeaning. But I think also like love men and women, they look for these kind of lovers from another culture, because those are cultures that where certain kind of warmth is expected and is normal, and it's like being attracted to warmth also. And I mean, the global north is the forefront of capitalism and individualism and self-sufficiency, and is therefore much colder often. So
There you go. What say you to that, Tucson?
No, I think that's a really interesting point. I think some of these manosphere talk about, or manosphere adjacent talk about femininity is probably warmth, a desire for warmth, something to sort of grease the wheels of these interactions. But I mean, I think that also goes both ways.
Yeah, these guys are not
But
capable
we
of
could
it.
also, yeah, no, that's absolutely true. According to the Dr. K, who does the gamer channel on YouTube, he mostly talks about, guys who are gamers, and a lot of them are really don't have the social skills. He said about one third of them, the normal advice is just not going to them. He said for a guy like himself, he has basically the foundation already because his parents loved him. He has had the experience of love in the first place. And so it would be easier for him to make certain changes in order to invite more into his life. But some people don't have that foundation. And capitalism definitely part in that. So we have to consider that when we're, thinking of these populations of are adapting this as this capitalist hellscape.
Well, thank you, Arturo, for taking the time to speak with Toussaint and I. When will you be publishing this piece that we've been talking about for the last 2.5 hours?
I don't have a specific date yet because I was trying to get some additional facts about what the actual status or number is of deaths due to. I mean, that's just one part of the argument, but I might, since I've contacted authorities in Colombia to see if they want to confirm to me whether the match group has been in a satisfying way cooperative with their investigations and what numbers they have, but they haven't gotten back to me. So I guess if they'll just keep ghosting, as they say, as the kids say, then I'll just publish it anyway, more as a kind of manifesto, since if I can't get the investigative journalistic part really there, then I just don't want it on my computer anymore, and then I'll just publish it as a kind of manifesto, probably in Counterpunch.
Well, again, thank you for your time. And that's where people
Thank
can
you.
find you mostly is Counterpunch.
Most of my political stuff is in Counterpunch. Sometimes something on the Middle East in Informed Comment. I no longer participate in the Open Democracy website. So with political stuff, yeah, and literary. Well, I have a short an excerpt, a piece of fiction about this topic, which you can find in the Hobart Pulp Journal. It's like a novella
It's
about
about
a
a man
young.
that refuses to wear condoms looking for love.
No, it's about a young dude from Latin America who goes to the Netherlands as an exchange student and falls in love with a Dutch Instagrammer girl and gets into all kinds of trouble because he sends her a poem via Instagram.
Mm.
what is the poem? Like roses are red, violets are blue. Look at his dick.
No, nothing like
No.
that. No, nothing like that. No,
That's
no.
good. That's good.
No, it's
That's
about
very good.
yeah.
That's good.
It's nothing like it's not a dick pic poem. No, it's just a kind of intense poem that's not acceptable in the what's considered normal in Dutch culture or northern, uh, North Atlantic culture, and so that gets him into all kinds of trouble because of misunderstandings. But that story interfaces with what we've been talking about. But that was published more than a year ago, but it's still, I guess, relevant. It's in Hobart Journal. That journal did get into a whole lot of trouble though when they published an interview with an angry Cuban American writer dude who was basically a guy who tilts a bit towards the manosphere, Alex Perez. Yeah, because he
Name
said
sounds
that
familiar.
he was dissing all the white women who control publishing, basically. Even though, of course, the woman who published him in that interview is also a white woman, was quite sympathetic to him. But anyway, that's what that journal became infamous for a few years ago. But it's not a manosphere journal. It's just a literary journal, and mostly women are publishing in it anyway. So yeah,
So you're the DEI hire.
I'm the DEI hire.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Arturo, for your poetry.
It's not a poem. It's a short. It's a
Look,
fiction.
I just want to thank you for your poetry. Okay,
Sorry.
Jesus fucking Christ.
My dick pic poetry.
You
No.
did.
No, I don't write that. No, I'm much closer to the troubadours than that.
I don't know why these women don't get back to me. I send them a dick pic and let them know what everything is up front. Right? I shaved it in the shape that you and Tucson said it was supposed to be shaved.
And I proved it.
Nothing.
No, I like Jacques Roumain, Haitian poet. I don't like dick pic
Okay.
poet.
On that note, let's get out of here before we ruin Arturo's entire dating life. Like, we saw you on that show.
Yes.
Red flag.
Yeah. He was lying about the condom thing. I totally fine with that. Baby, there was jokes. Thank you, Arturo. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We'll be back, or Stefan will be back tomorrow. We'll be back Tuesday, and we are
Out.
peace.